these kids.
Alrighty guys, so this past weekend, Activision, Treyarch, whoever decided to do it, dropped that surprise Black Ops Cold War alpha on us. I thought I'd just give my opinions on it, I guess sort of a first impression sort of thing. But I quickly want to say that this is, again, an alpha, so what we played and experienced over the weekend, and what I'm about to say about that experience, is subject to change, and in fact is guaranteed to change. Some of the developers have already addressed things on Twitter. Specifically on Twitter, they talk about the snipers put into this alpha at a buffed state already, or stronger state than what they're going to be in probably in the beta and most definitely in the full game. Yeah, they said that they made the snipers stronger in this alpha to get information, so hopefully they can balance them once the beta and full game comes out. So I'm hoping that they actually balance them and don't just nerf them into the ground and make it horrendous to use like Modern Warfare. But getting away from the specifics, just the game, or I guess the alpha as a whole, is just pure old school Call of Duty fun. At least that's how it felt to me. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of Modern Warfare. I played it just because it was the Call of Duty that was out, and I'm a Call of Duty fan. Seems like that sort of game type, like the gunplay, is pretty much made for Warzone, and that's kind of what I think they were going for. Where in multiplayer, it just doesn't really work that well. It's not that much fun. It's slow. It promotes just camping and slow types of play. It's not like arcadey and fun like Call of Duty has been. It went far into the realism, or as real as you can get, with still sort of being like COD. So that's not what I play Call of Duty for. I'm playing Call of Duty so I can run around and just not really think, just go guns blazing. But with that being said, that's just kind of it. Again, this is alpha, but there's no fancy, bells or whistles. This isn't BO4, BO3, where there's enhanced movement, and with BO3 specifically, there's just full-on exo movement. BO4, you have, the specialists and extra tools to get you around the map quicker, and extra tools to get you extra kills, the specialist abilities, grab slam, things like that. This is really a return to form for Call of Duty, kind of like hitting the reset button. And some people may like that, some people may not, because it's really not innovating at all. It's just very much a step backwards in a way, but it's also a step towards what I want from Call of Duty. At least me personally, this is what I want. I want to just have fun, run around, high octane, fast paced gameplay. In terms of the three 6v6 maps we got to play, I really enjoyed Moscow, I think it was called. It was the Russian map. I enjoyed that one the most. Satellite is really good, especially if you're into sniping. And I like the look of Miami. It's very, stylistically, I think it looks really cool. But I just don't think it plays all too well. I mean, it's not necessarily bad. Like, these three maps just by themselves are pretty much better than every map, besides maybe Shoot House in Modern Warfare. But out of those three, Miami's definitely my least favorite, and then Moscow being my personal favorite. Although I know a lot of people like Satellite, and Moscow and Satellite are kind of up there. There's not too big of a gap between them in terms of how much I like them. As well as the 6v6, we also got the sort of ground war game mode. I forgot what they called it exactly. But it's a 12v12 game mode on bigger maps, and personally I didn't enjoy these game modes too much. I think that the maps are too big for just 12v12. I think if they went full on ground war and put at least 20v20 on these big maps, then it would have been a lot better. But a lot of times you would just spawn so far away from the action, it would take you like a minute or two to actually find somebody, and then if you do find that person, you either kill them and then you could try to find somebody else, or you die and then you gotta look around for another 2 minutes trying to get back to the action spots on the map. Now these are smaller maps than, you know, Ground War from MW, much smaller, but they're still fairly big, and I think a little bit too big for just 12v12. I think 20v20 would probably make it a lot more fun because there'd just be more people to interact with. I think the creator class system that's present is really good. I like that they brought in the gunsmith. That was one of the things from Modern Warfare that I really enjoyed, is just how much you could customize each individual weapon, and they're carrying that over into this game. However, within the alpha, each weapon was, I think, level 16 or something, so there's like a set number of attachments that were unlocked, and they were all this exact same attachments pretty much across each weapon. It would vary between, you know, different weapon classes, so obviously the snipers had different barrels than the ARs, and different from the subs and so on, but like every AR, you had the same barrels unlocked, the same stocks unlocked, the same mags unlocked. It pretty much made it so that once you found the good loadout of attachments, you would just slap those attachments on every single weapon. It wouldn't really change. So hopefully that changes, or maybe if not the actual parts themselves, maybe just the attributes of how it affects a certain gun would be different from how it affects another one. That's not a huge complaint. It's just kind of it gives you like the veil of a lot of customization, but in reality you're just gonna find the good loadout for the one weapon, and that loadout's pretty much gonna work the same for all of them. That was one minor complaint with the system, but as a whole, the creator class is good. The wild cards are back, sort of the classic mode. There's no pick 10 system. You just put on wherever you want, basically. They definitely nerfed lethals, specifically C4. C4 now, you can't just chuck it around the corner and midair blow it up. It has to actually stick to something, and then there's kind of like half a second charge time before you can actually push the animation. And one thing I don't kind of like is that animation of your character like pulling out the detonator and pushing the button happens no matter what, whether you're double tapping square to blow it up quickly or just hitting the trigger again to actually pull it out. That animation always happens, which in previous games, if you double tap square, it would just blow up, like without your character doing that animation. That kind of defeats the purpose of double tapping square even being there, other than just muscle memory from other CODs. Like that's what I would do by default. But there's no advantage to that anymore. It's very slow, and there's almost no real point in using C4 anymore, especially with EOD and, you know, all these other perks being really prevalent. Because the perk system is back to pretty much what everyone wanted. Ghost and Dead Silence, or which is Ninja now, is their actual perks. They're not, you know, the little specialist abilities or whatever you call them. So that's good, because that was one of the things that everyone pretty much hated about Modern Warfare, is that Dead Silence was on a timer and it only lasted a little bit of time, which just even more promoted the really slow campy gameplay. The minimap's back to normal, thank God. So you can't just sit somewhere and hide the whole match without ever being seen if you have the right loadout. He's talking about the score streaks, I guess. I think there's going to be more score streaks, or at least I hope there's going to be more score streaks than what was available in the alpha. But they're very strong, which is cool. But there's also a lot of counters to them, which is, I guess, to sort of balance it out. But the score streak system, in which the score streaks, they don't reset like another CODs. What is it, the Killjoy or Kill Chain perk you used to be able to put on, to where you just keep your score streaks even after death? That's just here by default. Within the few days of me playing, I didn't even see it possible earning your highest score streak more than once in one match, because they're priced so high since they don't reset on death. And that's not necessarily something I like. It kind of takes the reward of what a score streak is, kill streak, whatever they are, away. It makes them a little bit less valuable, because you're probably just going to get it anyway, even if you're getting clap nastied. I can talk about, which was trending all over Twitter, skill-based matchmaking. So for some reason, even in this alpha state, super early state, there's still skill-based matchmaking in the alpha. Yeah, it's not fun. It's just, you know, first few games, first day of playing, when everybody was kind of, you know, getting to grips with the game. Everybody's new to it. I didn't really notice it too much, but on the second day, where I pretty much already was comfortable playing the game and I was doing really well game after game after game, I got started putting into lobbies of players who were also around my level or higher than my level, and it just turns it into a whole sweat fest, kind of like Modern Warfare, where you can't really just play an arcade shooter and just lay back and turn your brain off and run around, because if you do that, you're just going to be getting clapped by people who are trying their meat off or just think they're playing an esports competition or something. Now, I understand skill-based matchmaking to an extent, but I think at the very least it just has to be turned down a little bit, if not completely turned off or something, because we do know that in Black Ops 2, like the holy grail of Call of Duty, there was some form of matchmaking in there, but it wasn't nearly as aggressive. Who knows, man? But I'm really looking forward to this game. Just from the 2 days I got to play in the alpha, it was a blast, and it took me back to the old CODs where I just had so much fun. The gunplay really basically just feels like a Call of Duty game. If you're good at BO4, BO3, probably gonna be pretty solid at this. It's just pure boots on the ground now, and I know a lot of people prefer that. And I have nothing against XO or boots on the ground. It's all just COD. But that was my main main gripe with Modern Warfare. It didn't really feel like COD. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing some more. I'm gonna definitely play over the beta, maybe put out some content on that, and then when the full game comes out, be on there like swimwear. Or if you do want to see that, then subscribe. If you have any other ideas for content, leave it down in the comments, leave a like, all that jazz. Also, let me know what you think about the little intro I threw together. Kind of, it's not necessarily a montage, more just like a bunch of clips of me doing stuff, but I had a lot of fun putting that together. Sort of Jev style, if you watch FaZe Jev. So yeah, let me shut up. I've said the same thing like 5 times over again. See you guys in the next one.